Hey everyone, KitaSean here, so welcome back to another Fake Grand Order video. So, FGO JP Christmas 2024 has officially started. I went to sleep yesterday early because I wasn't feeling too well, but we do have a bunch of FGO updates here. Of course, the new servants, we'll talk about that in a different video, but in this video, I want to talk about the buffs that we received. We have Altera Santa, and we have Phantom of the Opera. Phantom of the Opera kind of surprised me a little bit. I thought we were only going to get Santa buffs, but hey, Phantom of the Opera is here. Altera Santa, kind of expected. I did expect her to get a buff today, and I do believe maybe as the event goes on, we'll probably see a couple more buffs as well. But let's go ahead and start off with Altera Santa. So originally, her first skill allows her to give an MP gauge of 10 to 20% to a party member and increases their critical star generation rate for 30% for 3 turns. So this basically increases the MP gauge to 20 to 30%, and not only that, it also adds on an overcharge for their MP for one stage for 1 time 3 turns. So basically they just gave her a modernized skill, just allow her to be able to keep up with the modern servants, and I don't see nothing wrong with this. I think this is a pretty standard buff, a pretty solid buff. I do think it shoots up a rank if anything on the tier list. I think I put her at a D or an F in my ranking, so if anything, if she was F, she would go to D. If she was D, she'd go to C, kind of thing. So yeah, I mean, this again allows her to give a party member more MP and more an overcharge on the MP as well. So yeah, it's a solid buff. Again, nothing too special, nothing too crazy, just to allow her to keep up with the modern day. So yeah, not too bad of a buff on Altera. So Phantom of the Opera has a very interesting buff here. I actually really think this kind of like fixes a lot of things in a way, and I do think that it's gonna definitely help him in future gameplay wise. Like, I mean, just in general, this is just huge. I mean, this fixes this skill so much. So it's the third skill, and originally increases own mental debuff success rate for 3 turns, and of course mental debuffs meaning all the like debuff traits like stun, charm, and stuff like that, and then increases own mental debuff resistance for 3 turns. That's 5 to 25% and 50 to 100%. So this basically overhauls that. So now his third skill increases parts arts performance for 3 turns, 10 to 20%. Kind of wish it was 20 to 30, but I mean, he's a 2-star servant, so it kind of makes sense why they made that number on the percentage. But now he can support art servants, which is actually really cool. So I mean, he is an art servant himself, so it does allow him to help out on his own MP, but with this, he can actually be in an arts party as like a support character, which is actually really cool. It also increases party's MP damage on Darkness Battlefield for 3 turns. This one I'm not too big of a fan of. I find it kind of interesting and niche. But by the way, it's 10 to 20%. So Darkness Battlefield, it increases party's MP damage on Darkness Battlefield. So there are some locations that have darkness on them. Like there is the like water side, there's void space. I think the Millennium Castle has one as well, if I'm not mistaken. I think Forest has one as well. I can't remember exactly where else has. I think there is like just darkness, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, that's a very interesting niche battlefield trait. I mean, it makes sense because it is Phantom of the Opera, but again, it's very, very niche. So it's gonna be kind of like I feel like you're definitely not gonna get it unless you actually go on the specific battlefield. But I mean, there's actually quite a bit. So yeah, I mean, it's nothing too crazy. It's just an extra 10 to 20% bonus, right, if you actually are on those battlefields. But like if you're going into like a random quest here and there, then obviously you're not gonna know what you're going into. But if it's like a quest that like a free quest or something that that has darkness, hey, you can bring them on, and you can benefit from that. But It's niche, but it makes sense why they put it on Phantom of the Opera. And then he also has the increased on debuff success rate for 3 turns and increased on debuff resistance for 3 turns, and the percentage for those are the same. So yeah, this is actually pretty nice. I do think this drastically upgrades this tier of the skill very high. I mean, I put Phantom of the Opera pretty low on my list, on my tier list, and just this alone kind of shoots him up. Honestly, like if they can, fix up his first skill now and maybe his MP a little bit, I think, yeah, he's gonna be somewhat of a really strong servant. But I mean, yeah, this is great. I actually like this buff. I think it's fantastic. Again, it's very niche on the buff itself, or the field buff itself, but just to have that increased party arts performance up for 3 turns is nice. Again, kind of wish it was 20 to 30% instead, but again, he's a 2-star servant. But I mean, yeah, I think this is nice. It definitely makes him better than before for sure. So yeah, to be able to not only buff or help himself in a way, he can actually buff the party, the arts party. So yeah, I think it's great. Yeah, I think these buffs are pretty solid. Are they groundbreaking or anything like that? No, not necessarily, but they're definitely much needed buffs and interesting as well. So especially Phantom of the Opera. So yeah, that's basically going to be about it. Quick little talk about these 2 buffs. Let me know in the comment section what you guys think about it. And again, I do believe during this Christmas event we'll definitely see some other more buffs. I would hope they'd be the Santas. So yeah, hopefully that is the case. But anyways, thanks for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you guys in the next one. Laters.